Okay, welcome fellow Introduction to Audio Production students. Today we're going to be looking at the Q10 paragraphic equalizer by Waves Audio and how to set it up like a studio console equalizer. So we have our frequency lists on the left here, and we're going to be setting up first the 75 Hertz high pass or low cut filter. So we're going to set it to First, we're going to set it to high pass here on the right and set our frequency to 75 Hertz. And let's enable it. And as you can see, we don't have the 18 decibels per octave that the console has, and there's no way to actually set that in the Q10 equalizer. What they recommend you do is actually create a second high pass filter at the same frequency, 75 Hertz. And enable that also, which will give you the steeper cutoff you need. Alright, so we've got our high pass or our low cut filter set up. Let's move on to our low shelf, which is at 80 Hertz. Set it to low shelf here in the options and set the frequency to 80 Hertz. And let's enable that. And we can adjust it up and down on the gain here and get our low shelf set up. Let's put that back to 0 gain just for now. And let's move on to the low mid frequencies here, which are centered around 400 Hertz. We can leave the type set to band pass or bell filter. We'll set our frequency here to 400 Hertz. And we can enable it. And let's move the gain. We can see we can move it up and down, and that affects our graph there. We can also adjust the Q to make it thinner or wider. Let's leave it set to 7 for now. And let's move on now to the high mid frequencies here, which are centered around 2K or 2000 Hertz. We can set that down here. Let's type in 2000. And we can set the filter type, well, we can leave the filter type at band pass and enable it. And we can adjust the gain up and down again. We can adjust the frequency back and forth as needed. Let's leave it at 2000 for now. And we can move on to the high shelf filter, which is centered around 12,000 Hertz or 12K. Let's put that in there. And let's set the type to high shelf and enable it. And let's adjust the gain just to see how that affects our graph. You can see we're getting that high shelf up there. We can also adjust directly by dragging the nodes in the graph if we want to. It's not as precise, but sometimes it's a bit easier to get what you want by doing that. You can't enter an exact number as easily that way, so let's put it back to 12,000 in here. And that's pretty much it. We've got our graph here, our equalizer set up like a large console in our Q10 paragraphic equalizer. Thanks for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the video.